All right, so once your maquette is done, which means that it can stand, and we will probably end up making bases for these, and then also that it's interesting in the round. So as you spin it, you should have interest from all sides. And you should have negative spaces all the way around. You'll notice I got rid of his arms. I might or might not put those back on. And then his face, I want to be the main point. When you do a caricature, you got to emphasize, and you can't emphasize if you have all sorts of details that are unnecessary. Once your caricature is done, you then are going to move to part 2. Once you're done with your maquette, the next thing that you need to do is you need to take him over to the light box and trace him onto a new sheet of paper. And this is just whatever scrap paper is in the drawer. Or if that doesn't work, you should be able to go back to your original drawing and trace from there, just making modifications as you go. But all of the pieces do need to be separated. So if they're going to be cut separate, make sure to draw them separate. Once everything is drawn out, you then are going to take a pencil and a ruler, and you're going to put boxes around everything. In 8th grade, we carefully measured everything because you weren't very good at drawing. In 9th grade, I think we can start to skip that step. So you just line it up with the edge, draw it across, try to make sure you have a right angle here, line it up with your edge, draw across. Again, checking for a right angle. And then I don't want to do this. That's going to be your instinct. I need to keep 2 right angles because I'm trying to draw a box or a rectangle around my space. Once that's done, I need to measure out that area. So this happens to be exactly 3 inches. And this, happens to be exactly 1. But do take the time, if it isn't the 1, if it's slightly off, like let's say you had 1 3/16. If you've got to count the little lines on the ruler, count them. The more accurate these measurements are, the more accurate our sculpture will be. Okay, once your maquette is built and you've done all your measurements and drawn all your boxes, we now need to do the math portion. So if I take the total height of my maquette, I can see that this is just under 6 inches, and I'm going to call it 6. So 6x equals, and then the total height of our sculptures is 5 feet. But there's a small caveat to that. So my math is simple, x equals 10. Okay, but I can't stop there. I have to go back to here because the problem is I can't tape pieces together. Each one of these has to fit on its own individual sheet or else we can't make it. So our sheets are 40 inches by 30 inches. So for me, I'm going to have one that's going to be 30 inches by probably about 12 inches. So I'm good to go. But if your pieces aren't going to fit, you would have to shrink the overall size of your sculpture. Or you know how long this took you. If you're still not feeling confident, make your sculpture smaller so that you're more likely to have success. The bigger we build our sculpture, the more likely we're going to have structural issues, the more likely we're going to have stability issues. So there's nothing wrong with saying that you want to hedge your bets and head down to 48 inches, which would be a 4-foot tall sculpture. The lowest I'll take is 36, which would be a 3-foot tall sculpture.